Across our borders in Uganda, with less than 24 hours to the 2021 Uganda elections, the Electoral Commission says it is ready for the polls and all balloting materials have been delivered to the districts. Let's cross over now to Waihiga Mwaura in Kampala to tell us more.
We are live at the National Tallying Center in Kampala, Uganda. These are the Kyambogo University grounds, and that dome you see behind me is where the presidential results will be announced at least on Saturday, because the Constitution only allows for 48 hours for those results to be announced. It's been a pretty busy day here, I must say. There was a briefing by the Ugandan Electoral Commission. I'll be telling you a bit about that later on. But also just getting into this particular facility is very difficult. The kind of security measures that have already been put in place, multiple checks, checking your accreditation, checking your equipment, sniffer dogs on alert as well. So getting in here is already a difficult job, and it's going to get tougher as we get closer and closer to the election. But let's talk about that press conference that was held by the Ugandan Electoral Commission. Now that campaigning ended yesterday, all focus is on them to run a credible poll on Thursday, the 14th of January 2021. The chairperson, Justice Simon Byabakama, addressed the press today, and he made some statements that will obviously not go down well with members of the opposition. One is on the ban of cameras and smartphones, limited use of them in polling stations. For cameras, he said they might be intimidating and affect the secrecy of the poll, and so they're limiting the number of journalists who'd be able to record within polling stations. And as for smartphones, he said it's simply, they're not prohibited from walking, and this is voters as well, they're not prohibited from walking into polling stations with smartphones, but they must be careful to ensure that they are not seen recording others or trying to send voice messages or things like that, because he says it could compromise the process, it could intimidate some voters, and it could affect the secrecy of the ballot. Obviously, this is not going down well with members of the opposition, especially those who have independent tallying centers. We know that Bobi Wine of the National Unity Platform has said that he'll have an independent tallying center that will be receiving results from voters around the country who he has requested to take pictures with their phones of any irregularities that they see at the polling stations, or even of final results, and to send them to that independent tallying center. The concept of an independent tallying center, according to the Ugandan Electoral Commission, is one that doesn't work for them, because the law says that they have the last word on how to declare and when to declare the election winners as per the Constitution as well. So those are some of the issues that came out in that press conference that obviously will not go down well with the opposition. Remember, the opposition held a press conference yesterday to ask Ugandans to guard the vote, to make sure that they take pictures of anything they see. They were appealing to international observers to play a role in guarding the vote in this election, and they were appealing to all state institutions to ensure that they are fair as they carry out their duties. But one other thing that came out in that press briefing by the Uganda Electoral Commission was a response to the United States, who this morning announced that they'll not be sending their election observer mission to observe this election on Thursday, the 20th, because up to 75% of their team was not accredited for this poll. And so they have cancelled their mission effectively. And when we posed that question to the Ugandan Electoral Commission, the chairperson said that whereas, they do their best to accredit as many as possible, one, because of COVID-19 regulations, but also because it is their right to approve or turn down anyone who applies. Whatever measures were taken with good reason, which they cannot get into at this time, and so no one should come and demand for accreditation. So that's a little bit of what was said at that particular press briefing that happened this afternoon at the Kyambogo grounds. As I mentioned, a very important venue when it comes to that election. So that's what we have so far in terms of the latest details. Of course, keep it Citizen TV to all our viewers as we endeavor to bring you every update as and when you need to know exactly what's happening here in Kampala, Uganda. My name is Waihiga Mwaura.